Well, if you're going through some tough financial times right now and are thinking about selling your home, finding a good realtor who can actually get the job done can be challenging. Getting financing can be even tougher. Finding people that specialize in short sales can be tough too. Our next guests say not to worry. John Dupree with Jeff Campbell and Associates and mortgage planner Joe Feinhandler with Best Equity are here this morning. Guys, welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, thank you, Greg. Thanks for having us.
All right, a lot of people still don't know exactly what short sales are. Talk about, what they are, because for people that, maybe they tried to get refinanced, can't get financing because they're upside down in their homes, and maybe they tried a loan modification, a lot of times a short sale is their only option.
That's true, Greg. And essentially, a short sale comes from the owner has fallen behind or can't make some payments, and they ask the bank for a short payoff of their original note. And that's really the last time you hear the word short.
And short meaning, if you owe $500,000, but maybe the home is only worth $400,000, then, if you think you could sell it for $400,000, then someone like, yourself calls a bank and says,
right, will you accept this short payoff amount? And then the bank goes through a process where they vet that offer and they approve it. And typically they do. Where we've kind of where we found out that the problem is really keeping the buyer engaged in the process, because what typically happens is you get the buyer and the seller engaged, and the buyer finds another property and they move on. Well, what happens is, you start in that process, well, you've got to now start over. So at Jeff Campbell Associates, we've developed a process where we keep the buyer and the seller engaged, so they follow through to the end.
And like you said, the key is really negotiating directly with the banks before you sell the home, so you can keep that buyer engaged and actually sell the home. This is something that thousands of people in San Diego County alone are going through right now, because the equity in their home that they did have gone, and now they're upside down.
Exactly, Greg. And we take our time and we keep the bank engaged. It just takes a commitment to getting the job done, to really caring about what happens to your clients. And I think that's one area that we excel in, is that we really care about what happens to our clientele. You may find other realtors in the area that care as much, but you won't find anybody that cares more than we do.
All right, if people if the seller, is successful, and hopefully they are, if they call you and they are successful in having a short sale, then the question becomes, Joe, is it tough to get financing after a short sale?
Well, financing after a short sale can happen within a couple years, after reestablishing credit, having good payment history, and getting a FICO score back up to just the 600 point at this point. People could buy within a couple of years and get a home again in the same neighborhood if they want even.
What's it like right now? Say maybe you didn't go through a short sale. You were fortunate enough to be able to sell your home for maybe what it's worth. Maybe you made a little money. What's the financing world right now look like? Because we've all heard banks aren't loaning, they're holding on to their money. Is it tough right now for people? I know that there's different professions. Depending on what profession you're in, the banks like you or they don't like you.
Not really. It's not as tough as you hear. There's still some areas in San Diego County with 100% financing. We could do FHA down to 600 and sometimes under 600 FICO score with 3.5% down. Rates are great. Rates are 5% or under right now. And the Fed's buying down those rates so that they're going to be low for the next couple months, and artificially low. So now is definitely a time for a buyer to take a look at the low prices and low rates, and it's a perfect time to look into purchasing property.
And also I should mention, John, I've heard this happening when people maybe are successful in short selling their homes. They aren't told by the bank, and maybe they don't have an experienced realtor on their side who will talk to them about this, but a lot of times they'll be stuck with the short. If the home if they bought it for $500, they sold it for $400, the bank will then send them a paper and say, oh, you owe us $100,000.
And that's true, Greg.
And that happens.
Correct. It can happen. And again, that's why you need a professional realtor on your side that can get you, in the end, what you want is paid in full, so that they have released all your liens and liabilities, that you owe them. That's
And
what
you
you
get
want
that
to
in writing.
Correct.
And not just a professional realtor, but like you said, I mean, we've been talking about, and I know you don't want to, brag about yourself, but someone who's experienced in short sales and who really knows exactly what they're doing, knows the ins and the outs of the process, so that doesn't happen to you.
Correct. And that's what we try to bring to the table is that experience and that care to get the job done.
And really quickly, if people want to get a hold of you, John, the number at Jeff Campbell and Associates, 619-337-1700, extension 209, or if they want to get a hold of you, Joe, at Best Equity, tell them the number.
It's 619-285-2921, and my blog site is www.sandiegomortgagefinder.com.
Perfect.
A lot of good information on there.
All right, great, guys. Appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you, Greg.
All
Our
right.
pleasure.
Have a good one.
Thanks again.
And of course, if you missed any of that information, just go to our website, sandiego6.com. Well, the fur is going to fly at this cocktail party. Up next, we're going to tell you where you can mingle with your mutt this weekend in San Diego and get a couple of free hotel nights at L'Auberge. SDL, back right after this.